I'm Pete Buist with the Alaska Trappers Association. I've trapped for over 50 years, primarily here in interior Alaska. My main trap line was south of the river on the Tanana Flats. I love dogs. I've always had house dogs. I'm also a recovering musher. I kept and used dogs for recreation and trapline transportation for many years. Now I'm pretty much cured of keeping 45 dogs around the house. I'm also the son of a veterinarian. My mom, the late Jean Buist, worked on the Yukon Quest for many years at the pre-race vet check and as a trail vet. If you're of a mind that trapping is nasty business and has no place in modern society, I'm not here to try and change your mind. I am here to try and help dog owners, mushers, ski joers, and recreationists get along in harmony with trappers. We're here today because no matter what laws and ordinances we pass, there will always be irresponsible pet owners and irresponsible trappers. And when these two lower life forms clash, we end up with dogs accidentally caught in traps. We all want to avoid that. Make no mistake about it, having a dog caught in a trap is a royal pain for everybody involved. A trap with a dog in it obviously will not catch a valuable fur bearer. The set cannot be reused and the trap must be treated and descented. Often the trapper gets bitten releasing the dog. There's potential liability, and I'm talking about financial liability to the trapper, not just the chance that the poor dog will contract something from biting the trapper. Even when it was the dog owner who broke the law, it's the trappers who come out looking bad. And that's all trappers, not just the one who set that trap. He or she is usually nowhere to be found. So now we've established that trappers definitely do not want to catch dogs. Dogs will get caught, and there will be calls to Fish and Game, Animal Control, and the troopers. Here are some ways to know or suspect that you were on a trap line or near traps and snares. Where there's one, there are likely more. Trapline signage. Visible sets. Some are big and obvious. Cubbies, wings, bait, carcasses, survey tape and flagging. Little trails off the main trail traveled regularly. Trapped animals, catch circles. Cubbies are sticks or brush arranged like a pen to direct a fur bearer over a trap to reach the bait. A dirt or snow hole set is a hole in the soil or snow that mimics a hole dug by a fur bearer to stash some food that he may come back to later. A urine post set imitates a stub or piece of brush that a fur bearer, normally a canine, uses to mark his territory. A pole set is a small diameter pole, usually set against a tree. It's primarily for trapping marten, and it features a trap set between the ground and the bait. Snares are cable of various sizes designed to catch an array of animals. The smaller sizes catch mink, marten, red squirrels, up to larger cable, which is used for species such as wolf and wolverine. It consists of a sliding lock, and the other end is anchored to a tree or log. Conibears are a killer type trap. There are various sizes. This is a smaller size used for marten or mink. Larger sizes are used for up to the size of a wolverine or a beaver. Foothold traps are also common in Alaska. Smaller sizes are used for mink and marten, similar size fur bearers, and all the way up to larger sizes that are used for wolf and wolverine. securing and fastening traps. Why is this important? Because with a dog that has been restrained in a trap for some time, it may be best to bring the animal back into a tent, cabin, or even back to town before removing the device. Probably the most common way that traps are attached is simply wiring the chain to a tree or stump. And the chain is put around the tree and wired to itself. Another way that a trap is commonly attached is with a wooden drag cut on site. The chain is wrapped around the wood and secured to make something that will travel a little ways from the set, but not a long ways. One of the most common types of traps, the double long spring, is luckily one of the easiest to release animals from. Now, when a trapper sets a double long spring, he generally sets it over his knee. That's virtually impossible to do if it has a dog in it. So, we use a trap setter to set larger double long spring traps. You use that trap setter to gain a mechanical advantage. To depress the springs, you depress one side, tie it in that position, and then go to the other side and depress that so the jaws will open. A tool that's more commonly available is just a C-clamp or two C-clamps, and you can put them on the springs of the trap and use them to give you a mechanical advantage, tightening the springs and depressing them. If you have no tools, you can make a field expedient trap setter out of just two sticks or two ski poles and a piece of string, and use that to depress the springs on the trap. Another common trap is the coil spring trap. It has a tab on each side, and to release the jaws, you depress those tabs simultaneously. Smaller traps for marten and mink are commonly single long spring, where there's only a spring on one side of the trap, and it's fairly easy to depress and open the jaws. Killer or conibear style traps are the hardest to release. Generally, we trappers carry trap setters specifically for that. If you're just out with your dog somewhere, you're not going to have that, but you might have a piece of cord or rope. You can thread rope through both springs and then secure that running end. And you use the leverage that you gain from the rope to help with your hand strength to compress the springs. Unless you've been with your dog in a real traumatic situation, few people can fathom the change in your friend from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde. Even the most cuddly lapdog will just as soon bite you as look at you if he or she is hurt and scared. Take my word for it, you will have a far more difficult time releasing your dog if he's making hamburger out of your hand while you attempt this. Probably the first thing to do is to avoid being bitten, so try throwing your coat or jacket over the dog's head. Then, once he's calmed a little, always best to put a muzzle on. And you can use gauze from your first aid kit. That's what veterinarians use. It's handy, and you can use it to tie his mouth shut. Another field expedient muzzle that's easy to make is from a neck scarf or rope or a piece of a musher's gang line. Anything to keep you from being bitten. Consider carrying a small kit with some tools and materials that would be helpful in releasing a dog accidentally caught in a trap or snare, as well as basic canine first aid supplies. Remember, throw your coat or jacket over the dog's head. Always muzzle the dog. Tie the free feet. Otherwise, once the trap is open, They are free and not always as grateful as you would want them to be. It may be better to transport the dog without removing the trap. Just as with people, if the foot is frozen, it's best to not thaw it until you are sure it will not refreeze. Many user groups recognize the need for responsible behavior on winter trails. Here are representatives from other organizations explaining their support for the concept of sharing those trails. The Alaska Trappers Association appreciates their support for our combined efforts.
My name is Nicole Schmidt. I am the Executive Director of the Alaska Wildlife Alliance. And to the trappers who are watching today, we hope that you'll be a partner in safe outdoor spaces by setting your traps away from common multi-use areas such as trails, beaches, roads, trailheads. We also hope that you will check your traps regularly to avoid animal suffering and to avoid other folks who are out on the trails seeing animals trapped. And finally, we hope that you will sign or identify your trap lines so that others can know to avoid them. And for everyone else who is not a trapper but uses these trails, we hope that you'll watch this video to understand and inform yourself as to how to release a trap should you come upon it. Trapping is a practice that is lawful across most Alaskan lands, and so it's important that we are all aware and use these outdoor recreation areas with as much information as possible. We applaud Alaska Trappers Association for including us in this video and for creating educational opportunities for all folks to learn so that we can have safe and shared multi-use areas across Alaska.
My name is Todd Shalleck, President of Alaska Dog Mushers Association. I've been affiliated with the Trappers Association for over 40 years. And while they're out there on their trap line doing their thing, and we are out on our trail running dogs, we do have one goal in mind, and that is to keep all pets, dogs, out of traps and snares. And with more and more people using their trail systems now, it is even more important that we do our part in keeping the trail systems safe.
We hope that you never need to know how to rescue a dog from a trap, but we also hope that you've learned some things from this video to keep that from happening. For more information, contact the Alaska Trappers Association or the Alaska Department of Fish and Game.